My fastest known time project or FKT project. This is just going to be an ongoing project that I do in my free time when I want to break up the monotony of training or racing. I'm going to go out and maybe attempt one here or there. I have no specific numbers that I'm chasing or how many I want to do. Again, I'm just going to throw an attempt out there when I get a chance. Because to me, if I'm going to go and do one, I'm going to have perfect weather for it so I can put down the best time possible. I want to be healthy. And obviously, um, so it doesn't interfere with my training or racing. So I have to sort of play that game since I do race a lot. Don't have a bunch of free time, to go out and attempt an FKT. Um, So it is just going to be a fun little project that it's going to be continuously open. I'm never going to close the book on it per se. So you're going to see me maybe do one, maybe 2 weeks from now or 6 months from now. Then you might see me do it or an attempt another one like 2 years from now. So I have no set standards or rules or rhyme or with rhythm how I'm going to do these attempts um, or try to set some records. But I would like to add a few more routes to the FKT log because our area, at least where I live, has a bunch of parks and stuff like that, rail trails that could be added. So keep an eye on that as I add some routes and just explore a little bit. And that was one of the main reasons why I did this as well. Um, I like to do some of these attempts because it gets me out into different areas and exploring some different trails that otherwise I may not go to or definitely not run as fast as I would during these attempts. Um, Plus, it's a little bit of a well, not only it breaks up the monotony of training, as I said, or racing per se, um, but allows me to hone my skills in navigation as well because some of these trails that I'm not obviously familiar with and I go and do these attempts, out of the area, I have to upload GPX files to my watch slash my phone and navigate on the fly as I'm running these attempts, um, which in general does take away from uh, putting down a better time since you're not familiar with the terrain, what's coming, where the turns and stuff are. Um, Maybe there's a creek crossing, maybe it gets really technical, maybe it gets really hilly, maybe it's steady flat. GPX files only can tell you so much, and you can only do so much research until you actually hit these trails. Um, and then just the navigation alone, if it is like you know, a FKT in the middle of the woods, you might have a bunch of trails. It's not like a full straight line. Um, so if you're not paying attention, you get zoned in trying to run fast. You just blow by them. It's not like a race where they have flagging and your mind goes off, um, telling you to turn. So, a lot of these trails and stuff, FKTs, aren't marked necessarily that great. And you have to know the trails or be able to read trails in general to be able to follow where you're supposed to go and then realize there is a turn, even if it's just like a normal switchback or how the trail may turn in general. Unless you're on a rail trail road, um, you get zoned in, you're just going to blow right by. And then the next thing you know, you're 20 feet into a brush pile, and then you have to backtrack and figure out where you're actually going. So, um, FKTs do make it a little bit interesting. Again, if you don't know the trails, if you know the trails and you're familiar with them, it definitely is a little bit easier. Well, I want to say it, not just eat a little bit, but a lot easier. Or if it's just like a rail trail where it's just like an out and back or something, um, you pretty much can turn and burn a lot easier than uh, if you're doing an FKT in the middle of the woods. So just something different that I'm gonna continuously do when I get some free time. Again, weather conditions like I could say tomorrow I'm gonna go out and run one, but then a storm comes in. So why am I gonna go out in the middle of a storm and attempt one? Because I'm not gonna be able to put down the best time possible. And that's sort of one of the um, things behind it is you want to go out and put the best time you can possible and beat any previous records that may be already standing if you're not setting the standard itself. Um, So you got to have good conditions. Um, you don't want to go do set or well, you don't want to go do or set yourself up for failure. You don't want to do like an FKT in 2 feet of snow, um, or sheets of ice, um, or get hurt in general just trying to attempt one. Now, some of the other like longer ones that people do, say like the Appalachian Trail or PCT and stuff like that, uh, weather is going to play a factor at some point in those ones that those people do. I have no desire to do any of those because I don't have the time or the resources um, to do like 4 or 5 plus day FKTs. So the ones that I do are going to be in the shorter length period of time, either that I can knock out in a couple hours or, a weekend trip. I can't be going out doing, again, an FKT on months and end. I respect those people that can, but I just don't have the money or resources or time to do those. So, um, again, most of mine are going to be able to be done within a couple hours, like after work or, a quick little trip on the weekends where I can get away and get after them. Um, but again, it's just something fun to do. Um, I mean, the only records that I'm going out to set are breaking the FKTs in general. I'm not trying to like get 700, 800, and be the most, at least as of now. You never know. My goals change, but um, mainly I'm going to use these for training and to push myself during a race pace and giving myself a goal. Because I can go out and do like a tempo run or red line um, run or some sprints like that. Um, but being able to do like a race pace or have the pressure of a race um, put on me, there's no better way, in my opinion, than for me is to do or attempt an FKT. So that's what I'm going to use them for when I get a chance. Um, again, mixed in with my other training and racing. I have about a dozen or so now. Little history. Um, my first one was back in like uh, 2020, I believe it was, during COVID. Um, I got bored since there was no races going on. I was like, hey, I'm going to go out and try to attempt one and, set the benchmark for that. So that's how I got started in these. And then last year, um, it was just a way for me to uh, break up my normal training and use it as a tool to see if it actually helped me um, for races that were coming up. So most of the ones that I did last year, there was like 8 or 10 of them that I did last year. Um, they were in like the winter slash springtime before when I call major race season, like April hit. Um, so it was just like prepping myself, getting myself into that race mindset and prepping my body. Both road and trail. Um, and then I even think I submitted a couple new ones last year, um, that awesome routes. And that's part of the fun of it. Again, a lot of FKTs take you to areas um, that don't necessarily have races. Um, so this is a good way if you like that race or have that race mentality. Um, you could chase FKTs where there isn't a race, but it's an awesome route. Because obviously some of these routes can't support 100, 200 people trudging through the woods or the rail trails or whatever um, during a race. So an FKT allows one or maybe two people at a time to attempt an FKT and not ruin the trail or anything like that. So that's kind of different. Um, but stay tuned. Um, the videos that I'm going to post, um, obviously the next video in this playlist or series, whatever you want to call it, is going to be what an FKT is. Um, and then I'm going to do video write-ups of each FKT that I've already attempted. Um, I think like the first couple, like Hoodlebug and Ghost Town, uh, I actually didn't do like video logs of them um, back in 2020, so I don't have them. I do have some pictures from them, um, but the ones say that I did last year, I was doing like um, video logs where I took a short clip of me at the start line, saying the date and stuff like that, generally speaking. Um, then I would take like, maybe a 10-second clip in the middle of the trail. And if it was like an out and back, at the very end, um, the part that you're supposed to touch or where you're supposed to end up, I would take a couple pictures real quick, little clips showing that I'm actually there. And then as me finishing it, um, coming into like the finish line of the FKT, showing my watch and stuff like that. That's what I try to do, to give as much information, and authenticity to my attempts. Um, so when I do the FKTs, besides the first couple that are just going to be like me as I'm doing now in front of a computer, you're going to see the full length completion video. Generally, it's going to be in my car, you know, as I'm resting before I get home, doing the video log, write up slash video, write up. And then I'm going to add in the clips in sequence, at the start line, the middle, and the finish. And then I'll throw in the pictures at the end. So that's going to be the general basic template that I'm going to use, unless somebody has a better suggestion. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do from videos here on out. Um, but again, the next video in this playlist is going to be like what an FKT is, um, and then I'm going to jump into the FKTs in general. So stay tuned. Keep track of my uh, FKT fastest known time project that I'm going to continuously work on until I can't run anymore or can't break anymore. If you have any suggestions of ones that I can do or routes, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions.